welcome to another 60-minute sports episode. My name is Christopher ZIDANE Matthews.
And I'm VENGA, the rational one.
You're the what?
The irrational one.
He's the irrational one. I am the rational one. Remember people, like, subscribe, share the video. Very important. And obviously, we're going to look at the game Jamaica versus USA at the National Stadium just not too long ended. 1-1, not a good result for the Jamaicans. When you look at the big picture, yes, in the context of Jamaica versus USA, yes, a draw, a game against them, not the worst result, but in the context of where we are, it's not the greatest of result. And we're going to break it down for you. We went wrong, what could have happened differently for us to win the football game. And as usual, the irrational one will go first.
Welcome listeners and viewers. Alright, so let me just move through quickly. Blake in goal. At this level, I'm not particularly comfortable with the distribution. You saw how the goal was scored. It was a ball that was kicked out long, and that same ball came back at us and ended up in the goal. At this level, I think that a goalkeeper should be a keeper sweeper, where he starts the game from the back and develop the play into some form of attack. But this route one football that we're playing, I'm not a fan of it. It seems to be working at some points in the game. Yes, you have to mix and match, but that direct football, not a fan of it, especially at this level. Last video, I called for some changes, and I see where Tapa is indeed watching these videos. I spoke about Fisher, and he was replaced. Spoke about Mariappa and his not tracking and marking and zonal marking, especially in the defensive third, in the 18-yard box is a bit critical. But that's where that was fixed. Taxi wasn't too bad, he was still there. The midfield, some amount of changes. I'm not sure what Whitmore intended. It looked to me like some form of box midfield. It wasn't working out, particularly for Leon Bailey, even though he seemed to be at times in a centre forward position, and at another point he looked to be trying to distribute from midfield with some of the balls going wayward. And of course, Mikel Antonio, the best forward on form in Europe, clearly developed. The team itself is not playing a coordinated, calculated approach in the final third. What you see, especially with Mikel Antonio on a solo run and deliver. And it's time that we get out of that kind of football where we are depending on solo run. Yes, your best players are going to come to the fore with their ability, but it has to be more coordinated. A more coordinated approach could have done it. You see that we're taking an approach where we're giving too much respect to this US team, and they're not worth it. Go at them and show them that this is a home game for you. Go through across the front and attack them, right? How say you, Mr. Matthews?
Alright, I hope the viewers understand what you said, because I didn't understand one thing that you spoke about.
Alright.
But I'm going to keep the analysis now, people, and listen. Antonio scored a brilliant goal in El Salvador. Let me remind you how it came about. We were defending. Taxi won the ball and launched it forward. He muscled the ball from the defender. Ran at 2, made the dip, and it was a beautiful finish. Today, the ball was played long from the goalkeeper. It went back to the Americans. They found a way to give it away in the middle of the park. It came to him. He came inside. A brilliant finish. Outside of those 2 moments from Mikel Antonio, he did nothing really on the park. It's not because Mikel Antonio isn't a quality player that is playing well now. It's because of our system and how we play. So Mikel Antonio, on current form, you want to say is better than the American forwards. But Mikel Antonio doesn't get the ball as much as the American forwards. So people, it comes back down to the approach for the Jamaicans. Again, one good point he made. He talked a lot of nonsense a while ago, talking about distribution from the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper job is to save the goals for the most part. Don't pressure him about distribution. We don't have the right chemistry with the players. Mikel Antonio has been in top form, and he was lost for the most part in the game because of what we are about. Same thing happened to Nicholson. Nicholson started the situation well, the campaign well, scored 2 goals, but he struggled for many games to get the ball. And the same thing will happen to Mikel Antonio, people, if we don't change. Example, Lama, it was so disrespectful from Theodore Tapawikmo to start in an important must-win game. You have the choice between Ravel Morrison, who was in the United system, was playing for many top clubs in the world, technically superb player. You start in Lamar Walker, who plays in a Bush League in America, and played Bush League Da Costa Cup over Ravel Morrison. Tapa Whitmore, you are nothing but a clown. You will not survive. It will not happen. You want to be lucky, it won't work. It is disrespectful for Lamar Walker as the attacking midfielder to be on the field playing more time in an important game over Ravel Morrison. It was a joke. And again, we defended very well outside of the goal. It was not the goalkeeper's fault. Many defenders were there. I don't know what Bobby Reed was doing, and we conceded. Got a brilliant strike from Antonio, but we were disjointed once again. There was no flow, no chemistry. 1 or 2 instances where we were trying to knock some balls with Hakan and Bailey, but in terms of consistent fluidity, we weren't good. Why wasn't Ravel Morrison on the park? Why is Javon Watson in the game? We showed the American, I agree with you, at home we showed the American too much respect. We only needed one defensive mid. Javon Watson is not mobile, he can't lick the play. We were in a must-win situation. We have the quality for them to be afraid of us, but again, we have Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey needs to do more, obviously. But the better he will do is when he get balls in better areas. Not saying he shouldn't be doing better, he should be. But look at Antonio. Outside of the brilliant finish, brilliant goal, how often did Antonio pick up balls in great areas?
What we're looking at, and a lot of things are going to come into question. And I'm calling on the technical committee of the JFF. Whitmore basically is doing the same thing over and over, and we're still expecting different results. I don't know how that calculation is done. You see, we're drawing a couple of games, and we're playing a far too defensive, even at points where this stage of the competition where we need points. And I'm saying it is time that we replace Coach Whitmore. People are going to ask who we replace him with. We must find some attacking coach for the team to start on the front foot, and we get at the opponents. We're playing far too defensive. We cannot play a coordinated, systematic attacking system coming from back through midfield and transitioning into the final, the attacking third. It's not happening, and Whitmore keeps doing the same thing. We have quality players here, right? We have them on the bench, and then last minute desperate attempt, you see where we're trying to inject these players. People will not be, or a lot of people are not looking at the officiating. I personally have a problem with the officiating and how they are chosen. I'm thinking there are a number of countries in the Caribbean. We could have chosen a Caribbean referee. I don't like how the referee system works, but we can't do anything about it. I don't like the idea. But when all is said and done, Whitmore is not the man for the job. We're in a difficult position now, and it's getting into a mathematical formula, which is not good. So let us fix it right now. I don't think anybody else can do any worse. Let's fix it now.
Well, importantly, people, in my mind, before the fixtures were played, I was saying that El Salvador, they are what they are, beat El Salvador, and then, worst scenario, get the drawn game against America. 4 points, you're still in the mix. He bottled it against El Salvador, you only got the point there, and then you got the point against America. So it's 2 points as opposed to 4 with teams going away from us. So overall, when you look at the 2 games, Tapa failed miserably. But again, I'm going to repeat it. It was very disrespectful of you, Theodore Tapa Whitmore. In a game where we are struggling to create. Let me repeat, listeners. Think about it. How often did Nicola... As a matter of fact, the goal that he scored was a brilliant goal created by himself. We picked up a ball midway, the American half, came inside and spammed a beautiful shot. So it's really not even a chance that was created in terms of how the team set up and how we played and our fluidity. It was something out of nothing.
But question,
So, yes.
why are we playing Leon Bailey out of position? And a lot of persons don't believe that he's playing out of position. Leon is playing from midfield. Have him start high on the flank, and I've said it before, if you play him out of position, he's not going to play to his best. We keep playing him coming out of midfield where he's crowded, trying to make pass to Antonio. He should be up there getting passes from the midfield and finishing. We're playing him out of position, and then we're now saying that we're not seeing the best of Leon Bailey. Play him in his position.
Well, outside of the goal, we didn't see the best of Mikel Antonio. Not because Mikel Antonio is not playing well, he's playing well. It's because they're not getting enough balls. We're not a team that sustains possession long enough to get these quality players involved for a sustained period. And sometimes it can be difficult for strikers when you're in and out of the game. You're not sharp enough, they're not feeling the balls enough, so when they do get the opportunity, it's a struggle. And you're talking about where Leon Bailey is playing. In Tapa's system, the wide players are asked to do a lot of defensive work. That's just the reality of the situation. That's how he likes it. But again, people,
you're seeing wide players?
Well, it was Reed and Leon Bailey. What I'm saying, I'm going to emphasize, I'm going to maintain that outside of the brilliant strike from Mikel Antonio, we didn't see a lot of Mikel Antonio. Not because Mikel Antonio is not putting himself about, but because Jamaica is a difficult team to play with in this current system and what Tapa is asking to do. When you have a team where you have Speedy, Williams, and Javon Watson in the middle of the park, it is cause for concern. You're not going to be fluid, you're not going to keep possession, you're not going to be involved, and it's not going to be smooth. And that is the main issue. We are playing like a small team, and we're hanging on and getting points here and there. That's a simple reality of the situation. Despite these big name players from all over Europe, we're looking like a small team because we have a small manager. Tapa, you're not ready. Tapa, I don't understand your mindset and what you're doing, Tapa. You're clueless. You disrespected Ravel Morrison. If I was him, I would not come back here. How can you, in a situation where you want a game to win, you have an option between himself and Lamar Walker, who played Bush Da Costa Cup. It's a Bush League we have in Jamaica. Da Costa Cup schoolboy football is overrated, and he's playing in the Bush League in USL, and he's starting over big Ravel Morrison, who was good enough to be a part of one of the biggest clubs in the history of football, Manchester United system, and you're starting Lamar Walker over the man. Disrespectful Tapa, and you should lose your job with immediate effect. We're done with him.
So at this point, folks, we're left with no other option as to call for Coach Whitmore's resignation. Since the JFF refused to fire him, the coach must do the honorary thing and tender his resignation. How say you?
I don't think he'll resign. He needs the money, not me. He wants the money. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants to work on that money, so he won't resign. But I'm hearing some rumors that a lot of the key players are with top of the local players. And we all know about this rumor about the split between overseas players and local players. I tell you, whenever I see the team, I don't see the English-based born players with the local born players. I really don't.
So you're saying there's a split. So Paul Hall comes in as a what, liaison officer?
Yes, I saw Paul a little bit more arguing a lot in El Salvador, and I saw later again tonight they were arguing again, intense argument on the sideline. So clearly there's a split right down the middle.
Folks, at this time during our World Cup campaign, there is no time for us to be going through those basic things, and I'm afraid it's looking really sticky. You can't qualify if we can't even get coaches synchronizing on the same page. It is what it is. We are in a tight spot. It looks like that.
I thought it was over after the El Salvador result. It is the worst now. And our game was the early game. We'll see what happens in the other games. If Panama before the game, Panama would be Honduras, El Salvador, and who was the other? Costa Rica. Those are three winnable games, so they likely to win all three. They came back from 2 goals down to beat Honduras. They might win all three, because we're identifying Panama as a team that we could catch, because we expect the USA, Mexican, and the Canada team to separate themselves, and we call it off. It's over.
Is it a money situation that we're going to just go through this campaign with more, or the JFF technical committee honestly believes in Whitmore? I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Well,
but it's not working.
as I said,
whatever it is, it's not working.
There's a split, and I don't think he can. Let's see what will happen come tomorrow morning. Let's see what Jacob will do. Maybe it's a little bit too late, but Tapa was never the man for the job. Once I saw what happened in Mexico, and there was always questions surrounding his competence as a coach, and he proved the doubters right. Like, subscribe, share.
Stay tuned.